It's all about energy. Yours, theirs, ours. We will use this formula over and over as we look at the results we desire to create. Belief equals behavior equals results. We will use logic to identify the truth about each situation that will produce the results that we want. There is another part to this equation. You have to identify what you believe. At this point, I am going to show you several ways to identify what you believe. First, let's apply this formula. B equals R backwards, which would be R equals B, which would mean let's look at the results we're getting, look at the behaviors that produce the results, and often the beliefs that produce the behaviors will be obvious. Okay. Look at these examples. Susie comes to work at 9 o'clock sharp and leaves at 5 o'clock sharp. Ed makes it a point to talk to everyone in his office every day, at least twice a day, for at least 5 minutes at a time. There are 8 people in his office. Heather waits for someone else to answer the phone, even though she is first in line to pick it up. This usually gets us started to identify what we believe, but sometimes our beliefs are deeper and harder to find. A second way to discover what you believe is to ask yourself a question and see what feeling response comes up. Ask yourself, why don't I want to come to work 15 minutes early and stay until I am finished with my work? Another one, why do I love to talk so much on my job? Another one, why don't I want to pick up the phone? Questions are like magic. They help us identify what we believe. They're better than anything I have ever found to dig into ourselves and determine what we believe. And there's no limit to how many questions you can ask yourself or how deep you can go. And what they will do is they will identify the beliefs that are hurting you, the beliefs that are sabotaging you by producing behaviors that would get in your way to be a good employee. And they sabotage you by preventing you from installing new behaviors, new patterns of behavior that would make you a good employee. But what we're going to do is we're going to help you identify those beliefs that are causing all the problem. We're going to do this with an instructor. And of course, it's up to you. If you want to find them and eradicate them, you can. If you don't want to, that's up to you. However, I can tell you this. Remember the formula. Belief equals behavior equals results. If you want a different result from the one you got in the past and you don't change what you believe, you can't get a different result. It's like trying to straighten a tree. You know, you take the guy wire off of it, bam, it comes right back. Beliefs will always pull you back to that old behavior. The only way I have ever found in all of my life to change behavior is to change a belief. Again, that is up to you. We'll show you how, and you have to make the decision whether you want to and whether you will. It's time to tie this all together. Freedom to choose. Free enterprise. The value of a business community. The process of business. The value of a customer. And the value of a good employee. Would it be fair to say that people were given control over the earth? Would it be fair to say that people have the most to gain from life? All the facts certainly point this way. You know, people are unlike anything else found on earth. People are unique. People want to be free. They want to express. They want to explore. They want to build. They want to harvest. They want to choose. On earth, nothing is more important to people than a steady, stable supply of economic sustenance made possible by a steady, stable income. Our free market economy in the United States of America has produced the most steady, stable supply of income ever witnessed on this earth. We've done this because business in the United States is essentially free. Now, at the head of this dynamic business cycle is a customer, who, of course, is free to choose. To service these customers' desires, businesses are created. Operating these businesses are employees. The degree of the success of these businesses depends on how well the customer is served. The employees make the difference in how well the customer is served. If you figure out how to really service a customer properly, then you will support your business and you will secure your future. Now, this is not rocket science. You know, if you want to know how a customer wants to be treated, what they want, all you have to do is put yourself in the customer's shoes, and the same thing you want is the same thing they want. It's really that simple. Now, let me give you some examples to try to drive this point home. Suppose that you took off today because a glass company was going to come and put a windshield in your car. You took off the day to be there. And somebody in that glass company decided today, I'm just not going to come to work. So what happens to you? The glass company calls you up at 1:30, you've been waiting all day, and they tell you, gee, we're sorry, we had an employee didn't come in today and we're going to have to reschedule you. Now, how do you feel? Just think about it. How would you feel? Took the day off and you didn't get done what you wanted to get done. Your customer has not been serviced very well. Let's try another example. Suppose you work on a production line, making anything. It really doesn't matter. And, you know, you had it's Monday, you know, you're off over the weekend. You come in, you don't feel that great. You don't really feel like putting 100% in today. So you don't want to keep quality up 100%. You let it slide a little bit. And the products that you're making today that some consumer is going to buy are not quite the way they ought to be. Now, let's just turn the tables on you. Let's suppose you go into a sporting goods store and you buy a nice pair of expensive tennis shoes, look good, paid a lot of money for them, and you're really happy with them, right? Now, the third time you wear them, they rip, they tear. And you think, my God, 3 times these tennis shoes, this is ridiculous. So you go back to the sporting goods store and you want some relief. What happens? You know, you have to go into the store, take them back, that's a trip. You have to stand in line, have somebody there who probably doesn't care about servicing you or helping you really. You're more of a pain to them than anything else because you're not buying anything, you're bringing something back. So you sort of get belittled and run around. How do you feel? If you knew those tennis shoes were going to break the third time you bought them, I bet you'd have never bought them in the first place. Let me give you one more example. Suppose you're having a bad day and you work in customer service and you just don't feel like being nice today. You know, it's just not in you. You just want to go through the motions, get the job done. Now, imagine that customer opposite you all day, what they're feeling. You might be talking to many, many people. Customer service people could talk to hundreds of people one day. It's possible. Now, put yourself on the other side of this. You just bought a new cell phone. To get the inexpensive phone, you had to sign a 2-year contract. So you're locked into this thing for 2 years. 45 days after you buy it, you find out it isn't working right. It never really did the things that it said it was supposed to do. So you go back to your cell phone company and you want some relief. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I have. You walk in, what's the first thing you do? You have to fill out this paper. And that takes about 45 minutes. Then you have to get in another line and wait maybe another hour, hour and a half. And then you get up to the desk and you have to talk to somebody. You're in front of a human being now and you have to talk to somebody and you want help. And they look about as interested in helping you as they are the last 30 in front of them and the 30 behind you. And you feel like you're just a number and you're locked into a 2-year contract. How do you feel? Anybody that's ever bought a cell phone and had it serviced, I'm sure, knows what I'm talking about. You know what you want when you're a customer. Give the same thing to your customer and give it all the time without exception and give it in a pleasing manner.